All right, everybody. Good Friday morning. We have made it to the end of the week. We are almost to the end of the year, and we have ourselves another Pass Rush Friday to get through. And this time, we actually have some stuff to discuss because the Pass Rush was pretty on point against the Titans. On a not massive number of dropbacks by the Titans offense, the Seahawks got pressure. Now, they were playing a lot of backups on that offensive line. It's not a very good offensive line. There are some mitigating circumstances, but still, this was a good effort by the pass rush. And if they can keep that up over the next two games, they're in good shape. So, let's break it down step by step, as we always do here. First of all, defensive line, Draymond Jones, three pressures, which is the most he's had in a couple of months here. Back in game 7, which, who would that have been? That would have been against the Browns, I think. I think it was against the Browns. He had 4, but 3 is a really good total. And I know that Draymond Jones is viewed as a disappointment by a lot of Seahawks fans, but if you take a look at this, I projected about 24 pressures for him this season based on his previous production as a Bronco and where I thought he would fit in on this defense. He's at 19. He's probably going to get either up to the projection or right just short of the projection. So, obviously, a lot of Seahawks fans view Draymond as some big disappointment. And obviously, there's more to football than just pressures. But I don't think Draymond Jones is nearly the disappointment that some people do. He's maybe a slight disappointment, but I'm not really that unhappy with the way he's played this year. I'm not that unhappy about his contract either because these contracts are just going to keep climbing and climbing and climbing. So, yeah, Draymond Jones had a good game and he's actually building a pretty good season here. Jarran Reed next up. He had 2 pressures, another good game from Jarran Reed. Now, this is a guy who's crushed his expectations this year. 20 pressures on the season. He's had a pressure in almost every game this year. I only thought he was going to get 10. I didn't think he was going to have this big a role, and I didn't think he was going to be this good. So, Jarran Reed absolutely killing the game out there. Mario Edwards had his first pressure in a while. Now, Mario Edwards has not been quite as impactful as I thought. Big reason why is because he's not playing as much as I thought. I did not think we were going to be leaning so heavily on two-man fronts. So Mario Edwards doesn't get a lot of opportunities because without the three-man fronts, he just isn't on the field that much. But when he's out there, he does seem to play okay. 4 pressures on the season. Reasonable, I guess, given his snap count. And we got one more from Cameron Young. Not really his game, but he's been chipping in a little bit here with these pressures. So he's got 2 now on the season. Overall, I'd say I'm pretty happy with the way Cam Young is playing. He's doing a little bit more than I would have expected this year when we drafted him. I was not expecting much of anything from him in 2023, so not bad. Leonard Williams did not have any. Kind of rare. You see that. I think he still played a really good game. I still really like what he's doing. But Leonard Williams, no pressures in this game. He's still a beast, still a monster, still doing great stuff for this team. Still very excited to see him hopefully continue his career as a Seahawk after this season. So that is 7 pressures from your defensive line. That's winning football. And I know Draymond lines up his edge a lot now, but I still have him listed as a defensive lineman. And at the end of the day, pressures are kind of pressures no matter what. So 7 pressures. Linebackers, we got 1 pressure from Bobby Wagner. I mean, that just makes sense, right? He got a sack. When you get a sack, you get a pressure. That's just common sense. And he's actually reached the pressure goal now. I said 7. He's up to 7. So I don't know if that means this is a success with Bobby. In fact, I honestly think it isn't. I still think we're not doing it enough. I still feel like we're leaving him in coverage way too much and exposing the weakness of his game. But at least he didn't meet the pressure goal. At least he got up to 7 pressures. But 2 more games left. Let's see if we can get more. Let's keep going. Let's keep pushing it with Bobby. We can totally do that. Devin Bush, nothing. He did play a lot in this game. No pressures, though. Brooks barely played. So nothing else in the linebacker group. Yeah, Bobby finally got back in on the quarterback. Nice to see. Edge rusher. Edge rusher. So Boye Mafe threw a bigger backfield party than even I thought with 5 quarterback pressures in this game. I think it was 2 sacks, 4 hits, 5 pressures. Now, obviously, the matchup was in his favor because that Titans offensive line is not very good. But I mean, 5 pressures is really good against anybody. This has to be a career high for him. It's definitely a season high, but it's I think a career high too. 5 pressures in one game. He is now meeting. I'm sorry, meeting is not a word. He has now met my season projection for him of 23. He's at 24. Now, it doesn't feel that great because Nwosu got injured so early he wasn't able to get up anywhere near the projections. So in many ways, Mafe has kind of had to step into the Nwosu role. And we're still kind of missing the fact that Nwosu's not out there. But you take a look at Mafe getting to his preseason projection that I had before game 16. And then you look at Darrell Taylor, who's already met his goal as well. And actually, he had that goal met almost a month ago. You can see that the edge room has mostly lived up to the billing that could be reasonably expected. So the issue here really was just Nwosu. Nwosu got hurt. I am very hesitant to blame things that have gone wrong for the Seahawks this year on injuries because I don't think this team has suffered more injuries than typical for an NFL team. But I'm not going to deny the impact of losing Nwosu has been significant. I think a better team could have mitigated it better, but it's hard to replace a guy like a Nwosu. It is. Nothing from Derek Hall. I mean, nothing from anybody except Mafe. Let's just cut to the chase here. Mafe did all the work for everybody. I mean, in fairness, when your other edge players are Taylor and Hall, there's not really going to be much to do, right? Like some days Taylor doesn't have it. Hall hasn't gotten a pressure outside of one game back over a month ago in almost 3 months worth of football is what it is. And Frank Clark, I don't believe he played. So, cornerbacks, nothing, no blitzing, nothing from safeties, and that gets you to your total of 13. 13 is a good number of pressures in a game, especially because Tennessee ran the ball a lot. So, with 2 games left, the Seahawks are up to 147 pressures. Now, I said before the season started, my goal was for them to get to 170. So, if they get about 11 to 12 pressures a game these next 2 games, if they can average that, they're going to get there. And I know the projection goes up to 191, but that's because Leonard Williams got added to the pile and Nwosu got hurt, and I didn't adjust to account for that. So, if this team can just get 23 QB pressures in the next 2 weeks, totally doable, totally reasonable. We're playing the Steelers offense, we're playing the Cardinals offense, there will be opportunities to get pressure, then we'll meet the goal. And if we meet the goal, I think we've got a really good chance to at least finish this season strongly. Okay, see you guys later. Go Hawks. Let me know what you think down below. That is Pass Rush Friday. Finally a good one. First really good one in about a month. And, first great one in almost 2 months. All right, catch you guys later. Go Hawks.